This is ANN News Brief.
Good morning. I'm Lucy Adeyemi. Ugandan authorities say they have arrested some suspects in connection with last week's kidnap of an American tourist and tour guide in National Park. Tourist Kimberly Sue Encourt and her guide, John Paul Merengue Remezo, were ambushed and seized by gunmen as they drove in Queen Elizabeth National Park in the country's southwest, near the border with Democratic Republic of the Congo. The kidnappers later demanded a $500,000 ransom, which Junior Tourism Minister Godfrey Kawanda Subi told a local station was paid in order to save the lives of the victims. Police did not give details about the suspects, but said they had been detained during raids and extensive searches in Kanungu district, more than 400 kilometers southwest of the capital, Kampala. The World Bank says dry weather across much of Kenya is likely to slow its economic growth this year, cutting its forecast to 5.7% growth. The bank said in its latest report on the country, Kenya's economy expanded by an estimated 5.8% last year as the country recovered from a slowdown the year before caused by another drought and election jitters. The so-called long rain season from March till May hasn't started in most of the country. Agricultural accounts close to a third of Kenya's annual economic output. The bank said in the report, if the government fails to meet its revenue collection targets, the economy could face more risk from macroeconomic instability. The World Bank, which is one of Kenya's biggest development financiers, urged the government to curb tax exemptions to boost revenue and to inject a dose of realism when forecasting revenue collection. We'll be back after this message.
This used to be me. But that was before I got the perfect bag. It's handy and easy to use. All I need in one compact space, just like my MTN Extra Value plan. I used to get one plan for my calls and then try to remember which data plan worked for me. Roaming was a totally different ballgame. Not anymore. I've got the MTN Extra Value all-in-one plan. If you're a data buff like me, you get extra data with some talk time. And if you like to make calls, you get extra talk time with some data. And when I'm abroad, I automatically browse, chat, and call right on the same plan. MTN Extra Value was made just for me.
More of data or calls, whichever one you prefer. MTN Extra Value is made just for you.
Live broadcast by Arab TV stations showed on Tuesday heavy gunfire was heard at a protest outside the defense ministry in Sudan's capital, Khartoum. And activists said security forces were trying to break up the protest by force. In a statement posted on social media, activists said army soldiers guarding the ministry were trying to protect the demonstrators and open the gate of the compound to give sanctuary. Both Al-Haddad TV and Al Jazeera broadcast live footage in which heavy gunfire was heard and people were seen running for cover. They said it was an attempt by security forces to disperse the demonstrators. There were reports that at least 2 government soldiers were killed, but that has not been verified. Sudan has been rocked by months of small but persistent protests that were sparked by bread price rises and car shortages. The demonstrations later turned against President Omar al-Bashir, a former paratrooper who had been in office since 1989. Bashir, who is being sought by international prosecutors for alleged war crimes in the country's western Darfur region, has refused to step down and said his opponents needed to seek power through the ballot box. That's ANN News Brief. Thanks for watching. For details on these and other stories, visit our website, annafrica.net. Also join the conversation on Facebook, facebook.com/ANN Africa TV, Instagram and Twitter at ANN Africa TV. I am Lucy Adeyemi.